Welcome to Global Inspiration English, the channel where you can practice English listening while learning from inspiring life stories. Today, we will discover the powerful journey of Nelson Mandela, a man who sacrificed his freedom to give his people theirs. He spent 27 years in prison, yet came out not with anger, but with forgiveness. His story shows us that patience, courage, and hope can transform an entire nation. Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela was born on July 18, 1918, in the small village of Mvezo, South Africa. His father was a respected local chief, and his mother raised him with discipline and values. Mandela grew up hearing traditional stories about African warriors who fought for their land and justice. These stories sparked a dream in young Mandela to fight for freedom and dignity for his people. Mandela grew up hearing traditional stories about African warriors who fought for their land and justice. As a boy, he herded cattle, played barefoot with friends, and lived a simple rural life. Yet, deep inside, he carried the spirit of a leader. When Mandela grew older, he experienced firsthand the injustice of apartheid, a brutal system created by the South African government that divided people by race. Black South Africans were denied the right to vote, forced to live in poor areas, and treated unfairly in their own country. Mandela felt this pain deeply. He saw families separated, workers exploited, and children denied education. Instead of accepting this reality, he decided to study law so he could defend those who had no voice. Mandela joined the African National Congress (ANC), a political movement that fought against apartheid. At first, he followed the path of peaceful protest, inspired by Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy of non-violence. But as the government responded with increasing violence, killing protesters and jailing activists, Mandela realized the struggle required stronger action. He became one of the key leaders of the ANC, organizing strikes, boycotts, and resistance campaigns. His courage and speeches inspired thousands of South Africans to believe that one day, apartheid would fall. In 1962, Mandela was arrested for his political activities and accused of trying to overthrow the government. He was sentenced to life in prison. For the next 27 years, Mandela lived behind the high walls of Robben Island and later in other prisons. He continued to study, write letters, and guide younger prisoners. His quiet dignity and discipline turned him into a symbol of resistance, not just in South Africa, but around the world. International campaigns grew louder, with millions demanding, "Free Nelson Mandela." Finally, in 1990, after nearly 3 decades, Mandela was released. The world watched in awe as he walked free, raising his fist in triumph. But instead of calling for revenge, Mandela shocked everyone with his words of peace. He believed that if South Africa was to survive, it needed forgiveness, not hatred. His vision was to unite blacks and whites into one nation, living side by side in equality. In 1994, South Africa held its first democratic election. Millions of people, many voting for the first time, stood in long lines with tears of joy. Nelson Mandela became the first black president of South Africa. As president, Mandela focused on healing the wounds of the past. He created the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, allowing victims and even perpetrators of apartheid to tell their stories and seek forgiveness. He also used sports like supporting the national rugby team during the 1995 World Cup to bring the nation together. Mandela believed that leadership meant service. After just one term, he stepped down, showing the world that power should never be permanent, but shared. Mandela's life did not end with politics. He spent his later years promoting peace, fighting poverty, and supporting education for children. In 1993, he received the Nobel Peace Prize, sharing it with F.W. de Klerk, the man who helped end apartheid. Even after his death in 2013, Mandela remains a global symbol of forgiveness, courage, and freedom. His story continues to inspire leaders and ordinary people alike. Nelson Mandela's life teaches us: 1. Patience can outlast oppression. 2. Forgiveness is stronger than revenge. 3. One person's courage can unite millions. He proved that true strength lies not in fighting enemies, but in turning them into friends. From a barefoot boy in a small village to a prisoner in a cell, and finally, to a president loved by the world, Nelson Mandela's journey shows us that no darkness can last forever. If you enjoyed this story and want to keep improving your English listening through inspiring life journeys, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Global Inspiration English, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next episode.